Game number 1, playoffs. We're finally here in the best of 5s, and we have Team Nintorii going up against Team Liam. BOE is the first map at the Captain's Clash. And, well, now that we're finally having our best of 5s, let's see who's going to take it. This is actually, I mean, we had a round robin as the first phase of the tournament, so all of the teams that play here now in the playoffs have already played a best of 3 before. Best of 5s always at a whole different level onto all of this, but we at least get some results where we can start to judge a little bit, okay, what is likely going to happen here, who comes into this series as a favorite. Nintorii's team was able to take down Team Liam with a 2-1 victory in the round robin. So we'll see if Liam and his boys can now swap things around and maybe get some momentum here. But given that they already played and they also got some data here, we might see some adjustments made regarding the draft. For now, Vala gets banned out. We've seen quite a lot of Vala. This tournament has shown a ton. She's not like auto-pick or ban in every single series, but a lot of arrow styles on Battlefield of Eternity that have come through, and also we have some auto attacks as usual with double supports behind her. And when it comes to double supports, one of the things that the NA teams really like to do, again, more so than, let's say, the Europeans, for example, at least at this point in time, is that Uther main tank. Uther main tank has, I don't want to say nearly disappeared in Europe, it's not quite true, but it has definitely fallen off significantly. There was a phase where he was played a lot. It's not really the case anymore, but in this tournament you see a pretty frequent amount of Uther getting taken early and then being used as a main tank and as a second support to get someone like Vala ready. Now, we're most likely going to look at, let's say, Li being taken here, Sylvanas being played. I mean, there's tons of heroes still that he can play extremely well against the Immortal. Maybe a bit of outside poke with later on also Chromie being taken. Nano, for example, could take her here. I would love to see another Suljin at some point. That would be amazing. We had Suljin already. Now, do I expect that in game number 1 he's immediately being busted out here? Not really. But we've seen some teams that started off with an Uther main tank, for example, and were clearly heading into hyper carry Vala pick. Vala gets banned out or taken away from them, and then they switch over into Suljin, and it was actually quite cool to see that. And as I pointed out, Chromie, there she is. So Nano is going to play Chromie for the blue team, and then we have on the other side Limi. So there's already a bit of a mage battle between them. One hero that I haven't seen that much yet, I think Team Cure took her once, is Sergeant Hammer. Sergeant Hammer is also a pick that I would like to see in the playoffs maybe a bit more. Quick reminder, we also don't have any draft rules. This is a total vanilla tournament. There are no bounties here. There are no pre-bans, nothing of the sorts. Heroes can be picked and played in every single map. It's completely from scratch, so there's none of that happening. Typical standard tournament that we have between the teams, so you don't really have to think ahead and think about, okay, what are we going to do later, which heroes are still available, or any such thing. Which also means that you don't have to rush things because you think, oh god, my opponent is taking it away from us for this series. Lulnara! I would have liked to see a bit of Bambi. I haven't seen Bambi in a hot minute, and A was always a bit more fond of her, I want to say. Blaze and Muradin, that's already some nice stuns for Liming to set things up for them. But with the final ban, who are they targeting here? Are they going to target Porky? They already banned out this Diablo. They're also going to try and get rid of another tank. And yes, they do. They ban Garrosh out. Porky had a pretty crazy game with Garrosh yesterday, where he had so many good taunts in the Warlord's challenge that he absolutely ruined the other team. So they definitely... It's a bit of a respect ban now. When they look at it, it's like, yeah, not again, thank you. We've had our share. Could still go into Joanna. Joanna is still up and hasn't been banned out, so if you want to go down that path. But first we get Samuro. Love it. I've been talking about Sven and Samuro play quite a bit, especially on the bigger maps. But I really like when he picks the hero. A good Samuro... It's one of those typical heroes. You never want to play against a good Samuro, but it's a lot of fun to watch a good Samuro. So Anduin gets chosen for Team Liam. Could still also go into Genji if they wanted, go full reset, but instead we get Greymane. So Greymane for the Immortal, Liming for the Immortal. That's actually some really nice damage on that end. And that leaves us with our front line. So Porky, the final choice for the blue team as we're going into the first game of the best of 5. I'm quite happy that we now have best of 5 matches. The best of 3s were cool, but there were so many games where like, if we just could get another map or 2. So yeah, kind of unfortunate. Anyways, game number 1, Battlefield of Eternity. We got Team Nintorii against Team Liam, and our final pick is Anuburak for Porky. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go. First game of the best of 5 series. Nintorii's team on the left with Iptings on Sylvanas. We have Nano on Chromie, so he's playing one of his favorites here. Porky on Anuburak, Nintorii on Brightwing, and we got Sven on Samoro. And the last pick there is definitely going to be exciting. On the right side, Team Liam with Kelsia on Greymane. We got Liam on Blaze, Tremor on Muradin, Gia's playing Liming, and Hebi is running Anduin in game number 1 of the best of 5 here in the playoffs. We are in the winner bracket semi-final, and we're off to the races. Now, with Sylvanas, you can already start to go for a few structures here, which is, of course, also going to be the goal. Trying to get some early lead out of this. We'll see how successful that's going to be for them. But with Samuro, it's going to be fun. In level 1, we're getting the Way of Illusion for them. And already some nice damage. But obviously the response is also there. And yeah, the response is there immediately. Iptings is running and running and running and trying to get away. But he is gonna die eventually. Waits for the cooldown, gets slowed down, stunned, and Greymane comes in for the kill. It was a long chase until they finally got him, but they definitely did get him. So that's the end of Sylvanas. Nice reaction from Team Liam. It was very well done. They chased it all out. They were fully aware. Oh, even the B steps are already happening. They were fully aware when the opponent found themselves in a spot, you know, where they couldn't retreat anymore, and they covered all of the potential escape routes, including where the next wave was going. So, really nice plays by them, and, well, get some first blood. At the bottom of the map, still a bit of poke happening. Nothing too exciting over here, but every single bit of damage against the wall obviously helps. As up top side, Liam must be careful too. Blue team, they lost 1 hero so far, but maybe a little bit more that they can accomplish if they can also go for some structures here. Just because you lose a hero at the early game doesn't really mean that you have lost too much just yet, so maybe with the leverage that they have through Samuro and through Sylvanas, they can take those towers down. That's exactly what they're working on, with Porky also moving in and spawning a few more beetles to soak up shot. That helps too. Both of the stuns missing, Blaze, Jet Propulsion, and Muradin do not accomplish anything for them. Chromie is all alone at the bot lane, by the way, now that they are 4-manning the top, so she can't do anything about the camp that has been taken down there, which is now resulting in the red team actually having access to both of the mercenary camps. So they took both of the Khaldor camps here. 5 stacks for Chromie, and at the bottom of the map, with now even elite in experience and in talents for the red team. And again, not a big one, but start to build it up. We now have them also trying to push for the wall a little bit. One of the towers already halfway down. It's only 1 kill in the early game though, and that was a bit of a miscalculation in the first place. But right now they are taking their camps, they're taking everything in their path and just doing whatever they can to try and make a couple of moves with, I don't know, the shaman camps, try and push for the walls, take those out early. Nobody is making any kind of cute plays where they're trying to just play without the objective for some structures. It's still going to be a trade. Already Chromie is doing some work here. But if Greymane jumps in Worgen form onto the Immortal and gets some assist from Li Ming, then they should be able to take that out fairly early here. I don't think it's going to take them all that long. But yeah, kill versus 0, still the name of the game. But there is now that play with Sylvanas at the bottom of the map. This is always one of those moves that you can make when your opponent is focusing onto the mid lane and you have Sylvanas. You can really, or Greymane. I mean, there's a couple of heroes that are great at taking structures down. If you have any of those and you're making the decision to go for the push at the lane, then you just have to make sure that it's enough damage that you do so that the early Immortal is not compensating for that completely. But right now, nobody even has the objective. We have a halftime show victory for the red team, but that's all there is to it. So, nothing more. And Well, I'm still trying to poke this down, but to be fair, over here on the left side, the red team is also losing hit points very quickly on this bad boy. So this is not over yet. It seems like the red team is barely winning this one. There's another 5,000 hit points left, so it's not too bad given the earlier situation. But the blue team also hasn't done that much damage at the bottom of the map. They opened the wall up a bit, so the gate is down and one of the towers is down, but that's essentially all that they were able to do. Then again, with Sylvanas now moving towards the top and trying to make the exact same play there once more, they are getting some structural work done. But I would still expect that this Immortal is at least damaging the fort a little bit. The wall is definitely going to be destroyed, so yeah, that was never in question. Only question is how much more can they do here. Now that Greymin is starting to commit to this as well, it seems like they might get the entire thing. Yeah. And they might get a Nubarak too. Porky! And he gets out. Saved by Brightwing. Saved by Brightwing in the bell as the fort falls. Then again, the topside play is looking at the exact same outcome. They are very close to take the fort out too. Both decided to move back though, because there was a rotation coming from the rest of the red team. So technically they saved it, but let's be honest, this is going to get destroyed very quickly. Simuro is going to deal with it. There's only a few hit points left, and he's going to be perfect to move in here and take that one out. So absolutely no chance to keep that in the game for all the much longer. It's actually kind of interesting. I mean, one team, they kind of gave up the Immortal a little bit, only tried to mitigate the damage by reducing the shield as much as they could, and then pushed on the side lane, and now they're again very even. 8.5 on the level count for the two of them. Yeah, 19-20 stacks for Chromie, so she's getting closer on this too. With level 10 abilities being the next one, everybody wants to get ready for the second objective as well, where usually much more damage is going to be pushed out. Samuro has gone on level 7 straight into Burning Blade, and we now have Mirage for him as the level 4 talent. So he's gonna get stronger and stronger here, and with stronger I mean more annoying. This is basically the entire play of Samuro. Just become as annoying as you possibly can. And that's what we're gonna see from him in the late game specifically, I'd say. But he's also the one that I would expect to make a move for the topside fort eventually. So far nobody has really done anything here. The red team has defended well. Samuro is also at the bottom of the map, together with Nubarak and Chromie. And they're getting more damage here too. I mean, again, this is exactly what I said earlier. They are rotating around them, they're trying to get the damage connected. They're doing pretty okay on this too. It's always just a little bit, but it helps to force a reaction out of the red team, and then they're just pushing on the opposite lane and do some work there, as we can see here. So now the fort is destroyed, but we have the Immortal back up. And that's the chance for the team in red to maybe even get the second one. Against the Nubarak and his Cocoon, we of course have this integrate for Li Ming. So she made an adjustment here to try and burn the Cocoon down as quickly as she possibly can. Bullet for Greymane. And when we're talking Samuro, we're talking with Sven, Illusion Master. So ults are out on both sides. Halftime show, very even. I mean, extremely even between the two teams now. And it is that battle in the mid lane that we were all hoping for. Only one team got their Shaman Camp. Only one. Blue team missed out on it. So no Shaman Camp for them that they could use during that fight. And while everybody is starting to poke, Blaze has also split off to the bot lane and tries to push this one out as well. So, it's gonna get interesting here. Yeah, what exactly can the blue team now do? Are they able to turn this around? That's certainly starting to do some serious damage on the Immortal. And the red team is forced into a defensive position. Try to disintegrate to take down Samuro. That didn't quite work out. Brightwing was on top of things and made sure that he was still fine. But now that the top side Shaman Camp has been defended against, and now that they are in the lead, if they can once again approach the Immortal, they might just be able to take this one. Light Bomb didn't do anything for them here. Started to engage, but the light bomb certainly backfired a little bit on them. And Chromie is still poking. Poking from range. Muradin wants to interrupt her, but now there's more damage, easy. And also Samuro coming in. So, well, that's that. That's 6,000, 7,000 hit points on the Immortal as they are claiming it. And that is a pretty decent opportunity now for the blue team. We only have a single kill still. So we saw very kill-heavy games throughout this entire tournament. But at least in game number 1 of this best of 5 here in the playoffs, we have them all mega cautious. Nobody wants to give the opponent a chance to do too much damage too early on. They don't want to give them a chance to turn things around quickly or take that big lead. So what we're seeing instead is them playing it very, very close to home. And it's only a single kill, nearly at the 10-minute mark. The bottom fort is now gone, which means again a structural lead, and even if just a small one, for the blue team. But they're of course hoping to at least break through that wall and maybe go further than that. Both teams on level 12, still identical experience here, and that's going to be even damage on the keep itself. Not a lot, but the Immortal is going to get a few hits and yeah, 2. Alright. They are chasing though. They are chasing in the hopes that they can... Oh, nice! That jet propulsion was gold for them. Absolute gold. And Uberak dives in. They are trying to fight it now. And Chromie is the first one to fall. Chromie falls. Brightwing gets pushed back. They're trying to also get Iptings. He's moving back out. And Uberak is on the run. And Porky is not out of this yet. While all of this happens, Samuro is doing what he does best. He's annoying and he's trying to do damage on the other side of the map. So he moved in and started to take things out here. Just as we see the blue team get level 13. So 2 kills to 0 in favor of Team Liam. But they are starting to fall behind in structures. That's absolutely undeniable. So structurally, they are having some problems. Nothing that a well-coordinated team fight can't solve. Chromie currently top damage in the game. Camp at the top, gets contested. Careful, the stun, and Mirrodin gets murdered. Mirrodin is gone. Somebody call 911 because there's some murder happening up at the top lane of BOE for sure. That poor little dwarf got blown up within moments. No chance at survival, and now they're chasing Liam. And yeah, he's dead. He knows it, we know it, he's just trying to waste their time. And he's juking them out a little bit. A nice little B-step, gets another jet propulsion out, but with that stun, it's finally the end of Blaze. Now, of course, while he's gone, Brightwing at the top is also not looking too hot. So just as they are finally taking Blaze out, we get a kill against the Fruit Fly, and all of this is happening when we have the objective up. Can argue that there's still an advantage with Brightwing being able to immediately Z and Upcon coming back, but that was a kill that they probably would have liked to avoid. So yeah, next Immortal. Each team has gotten one so far. He's gonna take the lead. One team doesn't have a support now, which is always annoying. So if you don't have that sustain anymore, you know that you're in trouble. But the Nuborak is dead, so they take the cockroach down. And that should actually... Is that already going to seal it? Nah, not necessarily. It's a 5 versus 4. By all rights, the red team now has the upper hand, fighting for the Immortal. But they don't have that 100% yet. So, 4 kills against 2. Down at the bottom of the map, we have Samuro still pushing the lane out, doing some work here. Halftime show, of course, successful. And Nubarak is now about to come back. But yeah, there's no stopping this anymore. I mean, that train is heavy. You can reduce the shield a little bit, but they will lose the Immortal 100%. The Immortal is gone. At some point, I really want the Immortal, by the way, to fight back. Can you imagine when you've been here for like, what now, 10 years or so? And every single time that you are trying to, you know, focus on an honorable 1v1 with an opponent, you have all of these all of these like pesky little tiny beings floating around you and needling you. One time I just want to see the Immortal, you know, turn around and just absolutely unleash a massive AoE attack against everyone. Just like, be gone! Let me fight my battle! So yeah, this is Immortal abuse what we're seeing here. Immortal dropped that fort though. 16 is also ready. Samuro still pushing at the bottom, so those side laners are going for the 1v1. And now we have 16 talents for both of the teams. So finally the next one kicked in. 4 kills to 2. Yeah, this is a dead even game for map number 1. Again, when we had the best of 3 series between them in the round robin phase, it was the blue team that was able to win it, but it was a 2-1 and it could have honestly gone either way. So right now, still questionable who's gonna win game number 1, but they seem to be evenly matched. I mean, time and time again, fight after fight, it's quite close. And if a team takes the lead, shortly after, the other is negating that advantage again. So right now, we have camps that are still being focused on. And there is still that Samuro factor that you should just not count out. Samuro currently with only 27,000 damage only. We got Chromie on 34, Sylvanas on 33. And then you look over to Greymane, for example. It's not like he has an insane amount more. But, yeah. With that, we now have another chance around the next objective. And in experience, they're also still mega even. I mean, XP alone, the teams are super even right now. Nobody has been able to take a mad advantage or something. So, yeah. Time and time again, it's just like blow for blow. Now with Cocoon, they're forcing the fight though. Not just a skirmish, but they're really trying to engage into it. Wailing Arrow, and Anduin is gone. Come in with the Wailing Arrow, take Anduin out, and now they're starting to chase the rest of the team. The jet propulsion does not help Blaze, so he gets targeted next. Has to bunker up as Chromie went in with the temporal loop. And that was the third kill for the blue team. 3 kills for them. And with the Immortal spawning, that advantage of the opponent not running support anymore, not having a healer, is going to matter a lot. This is really going to help them. And they're following up on the kills. They're trying to get the next one here too. Tremor gets crushed, so that's a follow-up and a staggered death on the side of the red team, of Team Liam. This is glorious for Nintorii and his boys. They can easily go for at least a halftime show victory, at a minimum. And then they should also be able to get the objective. I mean, against a 5 versus 4 the entire time. Unless Greymane is fully committing and risking everything here, I just don't see how they can match that attack speed. Or that speed at which the Immortal loses hit points on the other side. Now they're going for Blaze and Li Ming, and it's a disaster. Oh my god. Everybody is getting wrecked here. Anduin is down 2. He just came back. He came, he saw, and he peed his pants. Veni, Vidi, PP. Anduin immediately destroyed. Yeah, I mean, this game flipped. It was dead even until that moment. And all of a sudden, it just all flips. So right now, the halftime show is victorious. We have a level advantage for the blue team. We're seeing them with a 3-kill lead and an easy access to the Immortal, which they will definitely grab now. Yeah, that was huge. That was really, really big for them right now. Okay, so with the Immortal taken, this is going to be the play. This is going to be the play here. Let's see how much damage they can do with it. Because if you get a few more kills now, if you get a level 20, you could go for game here. Storm Talons plus a big Immortal with a huge shield, 17 minutes into the game. There is definitely enough potential there to try and take the entire thing. Always assuming that you're able to get a kill too. You got the burst damage here that you can leverage against your opponent, and all that we gotta figure out right now is if they are able to get a kill. The keep will fall 100%. I don't think that is a question whatsoever. But can they do more than the keep? I mean, even the keep alone is already a win, don't get me wrong. But if you are now getting the entire thing, you can lock the first point in onto the scoreboard. Hey, even better. So plays are made. Keep is gone. Shield doesn't even drop past the 50% mark. That's where we're at right now for them. Shield is still nearly fully intact here. And they're going for the core. This is certainly looking like it is going to be the end for them. Yes, there's some defense, some counter-attack. It's just not going to be enough. They don't have what it takes here. It is Team Nintorii that takes the lead in this best of 5 series here in the playoffs against Team Liam. GG. Well played.
Before we head into game number 2, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet so you don't miss out on any future content here on Khaldor TV.
Well, game number 1 ended in favor of the blue team, so now that we're heading into Sky Temple, we have first pick, first ban for Team Liam. After they lost on the first map, Battlefield of Eternity, they decided that they want to have first pick, first ban as an advantage and gave map choice over to Team Nintorii, who went for Sky Temple once again. So, now with Lucio banned and with Sylvanas banned out, I mean, I look at Sky Temple and immediately the first thing that you, of course, there's a couple of things that come to mind. First of all, you're thinking globals, you're thinking Dehaka, you're thinking Falstad, potentially Brightwing on top of that too, and out-rotating your opponent. There's some other combos that can accomplish that as well. And then the next thing that comes to mind too is, of course, the idea of you controlling the boss spot, where we see a lot of the fights that decide the game happen on Sky Temple. So, Falstad again with Gust can be great here. And there's a couple of other heroes too. In the days of Tyrael, he was always a very popular pick because of Sanctification and also because of his Holy Ground. So there's a lot that Tyrael can bring to the table too. It's a shame that Tyrael doesn't get played more. I would love to see a bit more Tyrael, just generally speaking. Just like a while ago when Nick was still fully active, we've even seen side lane Tyrael with a damage build and Judgment. And, well, even the main tank Tyrael with Sanctification and the double layer of defense with Blaze that we had, Sanctification plus Bunker, it's all gone. Basically, nobody really plays Tyrael all that much anymore. We get our first pick Brightwing though. Great. The Fruit Fly. Ugh. And we got a Blaze for that side lane as well. So... yeah, it's slowly getting colder too, so the fruit flies, they're not attacking anymore. It's nothing worse than having just like fruit flies in your kitchen. It's like the one thing where every single time you look for these homemade remedies, you know, you look them up online, you're trying to puzzle that stuff together. It's just a mess. It might be me, but it's like mix this and a little bit of that and then do this and that, and it never works for me. And it's the one thing where I just go to Amazon and there's like so many products where you can just like pick one, you know. Comes a day later, you just like put that trap up and then zip, they're all gone. All the little Brightwings fall for it and they all drown, and it is glorious. So, Brightwing in this game, I mean, again, get a Fly Swatter, slap it around a little bit and do that. And we have Falstad and Hogger on the other side. So, globals again. They're starting to get a couple of globals here. Hogger on the side lane, but Falstad is going to be the one that's going to try and make the macro plays for them. And I'm still curious to see if maybe Team Nintorii is now going to pick something for that too. Obviously, they're not going to go for the Haka. They got Blaze already. We have Brightwing here. So what else is really available? I mean, normally that's that. I don't think there's too much that comes to mind where we could see them go into a global. So it seems more likely that they're trying to hunt Falstad down a bit. This is why Kenshi actually gets banned. Because, yep, they're just saying, you know what? With Genji around, Falstad it just ends up in the KFC bucket. So how about we're just banning Genji out, and then we'll see what they're going to do against Falstad. If it was Cure's team, I would say there's a chance that we're now going to get, let's say, Tracer. But, no, not really. So, Bambi! She got banned on Battlefield of Eternity, but now we still get her. So, Lunara can also use all of that asset against structures. And Porky has his Diablo again, which he obviously loves to play. So yeah, that's a good one. And, well, let's round out that draft on the other side. We still need a bit more damage. Falstad alone is not going to cut it. It's great for the side lane control. He can also do a lot of damage, but they need someone else, and it's going to be Chromie. Yeah, Chromie is going to go back and forth in all of this, especially with Nano on the other side. She will be a hot commodity for that game. Stukov is there too. And that leaves us with Nano as the final pick, so maybe a bit more mage action for him as well. Sky Temple, obviously a best of 5 series, so the blue team has the lead in the series. If they win now the second map, that would already give them a very significant lead and force Team Liam to try for a full reverse sweep, which is always super difficult, but not impossible. But again, jumping ahead here a bit. Oh, and we get Zeratul. Nice, I like that. So, Zeratul the final weapon. Sky Temple, everybody. Team Nintorii against Team Liam. Game number 2. Nintorii's team has taken the lead. On the left, we have Ipdings for the boys in blue on Brightwing. Sven is playing Zeratul. Nintorii switched on to play Blaze. So they actually swapped a lot of their heroes and roles around, with Nano now playing Lunara. And Porky is on Diablo, going into the Devil's Due on level 1. On the right side, Team Liam, with Liam on Hogger. We got Kelsia on Chromie, Tremor on Johanna, Heavy on Stukov, Yeah, and Falstad, the only global, the only real global in the game. I don't count Brightwing. Fruit flies aren't welcome here. This is not a safe space. So Falstad, the only real global, gets played by Gia. A little bit of European action also over here from them. And already some little fighting over that thingy, that watchtower. Turan is another one that I would like to see a little bit more. This is one of the advantages when you have bounties in a tournament format, or if you are having some draft restrictions, you get a little bit more hero diversity and variety. But then on the other hand, obviously there's a lot to be said also about a complete vanilla tournament where there's no actual draft rules. And I've actually seen, like, LoL has now added some stuff where they're doing the same thing. Shoutout would have been nice, Riot. A shoutout would have been nice. I mean, we've been running this kind of tournament only for the last, I want to say, 8 years, but yeah, fair enough, fair enough. Sad, sad, sad. So, with everybody just like getting ready to roam the lanes, the first mercenaries also popping up, it's all going to focus on the siege giants now and the camps that the teams are going to try and grab now here. Siege giants are the first one that everybody is focusing on, as you can already see here. So, yep. I'm going to get that at the right side, at the left. Both are also claiming their bruiser camps as quickly as they can. Hogger is going to be a little bit faster on this one. Every time I see this, it feels so silly and so funny at the same time. Hogger is just going full devil here and just takes the camps. This is one of the big advantages on so many maps for him, that he has an enormous camp clear with just ease, especially when Garden of Terror is concerned, which I suppose is going to be played in this tournament at some point again too. Bambi played, that's going to be an interesting one as well. So I haven't really talked too much about Lunara just yet. Went on level 4 straight into Blossom's Well after starting things off with the Sentinel Wisp. And since she has already been banned earlier, you can tell there's not just like a fluke pick or anything. So they believe in that. Zeratul dealing with Hogger, as they are topside, still just doing their poke work. And with Lunara, the ult is also going to be very interesting. If we're going to get Thornwood Mines here, or if she's going Leap. Depends a bit on what the goal is going to be for her. But right now, Porky, talking about goals, yep, that first kill for them would be one. Now, with Diablo gone, we have a kill against a kill. Zeratul still rotating between the lanes. And I mean, if you're just looking at the triple front line that they're running here currently, Zeratul will later on be the one that is going to try and die for that backline. Specifically when we're talking about Genji, of course. That's one of the big points right now, because they banned out... sorry, I say Genji because like my thought was, yeah, they go for Falstad because Genji was banned, and they're going to try and use Zeratul to do Genji's job. So he's going to be the one just moving in whenever he can, trying to apply pressure to Falstad and drop him quickly. And we'll see if this is going to work. I mean, there's a lot of stuns also involved in what they have here too, so they can make a lot of plays, let's say, around just the stun with Diablo into a wall and then follow up from Blaze. If you then have Lunara dishing out damage and also a quick attack from Zeratul, you can blow targets to pieces very quickly, which is the whole idea here, of course. So, as the first objective is up, each team is essentially just making their play for control of one of the temples and getting a few shots fired. And we might even end up with the red team losing one of their forts. Yeah, a few more shots are coming in, now that they're at the top. Do they have enough? No, but instead Lunara is going to go down. Bambi is gone. Lunara is dead, and oh, but Diablo gets the counter kill. I just think he's going to get punished for that. Oh, Porky! Boss mode! Falstad is also gone, killed by Blaze. That started off so well for them, and now they're getting destroyed here. Big kudos to Porky in particular. That was a sick play, and they're not even stopping there. They're going for a Heavy and lock another kill in. Guys, damn. Those are some sexy plays right now. Have a look at that. I mean, right here, he just goes and goes for Johanna, gets that kill, and then just when you think, okay, he's dead for sure, he's able to walk away from it. Porky Beast Mode unleashed. And they got the top fort because of it. Which is massive, of course, if you are able to pull that off. Granted, in the middle, Team Liam has also done so much damage that any moment, whenever somebody walks over, they will get that fort too. But still an impressive performance by the blue team, and they have a small lead in experience. mainly because of that now as well. So that is helping them too. Now, with level 10, as they are about to lock that in, there's always a chance that they can get even the objective at the bottom of the map. Vision is currently being granted. It's all about the Siege Giants again, though. Zeratul with Might of the Nerazim. I mean, the build already spelled out what ulti would go for. Has gone into his Shadow Hunter Globes in level 1, and then followed up with Wormhole later. Bambi with Leap. So yeah, Lunara not going for Thornwood Vine poke here. Leap is what we're getting instead. Level 10, not really big window. They can't do anything really with it. Falstad has now moved towards the side lane to do his job there and push some damage out, with Blaze being forced to defend. But at the bottom of the map, that's where the next temple is starting to activate. Zeratul claiming vision in the middle. They're still going for the next camp. Blaze is doing the same thing. So both teams with just the same idea, generally speaking. Temple activates in 10, and then they need to get ready for that. But here in the middle, the next fight pops out, and Zeratul is still pushing the top out a bit further. So Zeratul is still using his wave clear. Finds Hogger on the other hand, still trying to do some damage to him too. But Hogger is also staying in the vicinity of the top lane, always going to be ready to just defend that. And as I say, he moves down and Falstad takes over. But Falstad is not going to be willing to engage into a 1v1 with Zeratul anytime soon. That would be quite the surprise. So yeah, he's not going to do that. What we're getting instead is the fight for the temple at the bottom, and so far the red team is winning it. And Diablo, fully stuck here, gets taken out. They want Brightwing, and they get her too. So Brightwing dead as well. Nice. That was a big play from the red team. Zeratul therefore doesn't even try to join the bot lane battle. Instead, what he's doing is he pushes out the top lane even more and is trying to do some damage here as well. They know that they're going to suffer at the bottom of the map. Falstad is now essentially forced to try and do something about that and at least force him back a little bit. All the shots fired for the red team at the bottom temple, and Zeratul has at least been able to take down that wall and those towers. Gia against Sven, so it's the Europeans that go toe-to-toe here. But you can already tell, this is not an easy battle for Gia at all, especially with Brightwing now moving in too. There's a Poly in a second. Whoa, and there's the kill. Falstad is gone. That's the kill right there, and the keep is taking damage. Zeratul at least gets killed, but that doesn't change the fact that the keep is slowly falling here, and they have to deal with it. So with Brightwing moving out, it's a kill for a kill. But the keep taking damage is, of course, already a big problem. So yeah, it's an interesting one. If Zeratul made it out, that would have even been better for them. But even like this, it's not bad. It's actually, in my book, a win for them. They lost the wall at the bottom and half the hit points of their fort. But it's a very different story than losing nearly half the HP of a keep and exposing the top side as a total vulnerability throughout the rest of the game. With 13 talents now in, we're having 27,000 damage from Lunara. So Bambi is currently top damage in the game. Blaze also, talking about damage on the side lanes, able to get a bit more done down at the bottom of the map. Yeah, they're doing good work here. They're able to always get a few more heroes in for a shot or two. Minions, yes, the fort gets destroyed. So technically they are now very even on at least structures are still standing. Boss will become, at some point, I suppose, a hot topic. But right now, they still all ignore it. I mean, they double check continuously to see if the opponent, when they disappear from the map, might make a move for it. But that's not the case. Yeah. It's a great series, though. 5 kills to 5, not even a level lead. After all that already happened here. So, yeah. Lots of action between the two of them. And now another kill attempt. And it's a successful one. They are able to take Johanna down. She's gone. And with Jojo eliminated, they have to fall back a little bit further. And Lunara can, of course, still poke. Always got to be careful of Chromie. But this bottom fort is now going to fall. And they're quickly moving in with Lunara, ensuring that it indeed gets destroyed. And they can now even move towards the top lane, or sorry, the mid lane, and try and get the temple access here against Liam. But Zeratul, yeah, that stun was a bit too much for him. Zeratul falls. They gave up the temple shots at the bottom of the map as well. So I'm not so sure what I'm thinking about that, because now it's a 4 versus 5 up here. They're trying to get Lunara out and are able to do so with the help of the bunker. But that could be a lot of shots still for the red team. So Zeratul dying certainly was not good for them. They have an early level 16, which does exactly nothing for them in this situation. They need another hero up on the map, or get a sneaky kill somehow. Blaze rotated around all of this and is now down at the bottom of the map, and they're losing more! Not like this! Lunara and Brightwing are both gone, and that should just not happen. You gotta play it safe there. You can't lose even more heroes. Yep. There comes the Blessed Shield, just as she tries to escape. Brightwing. It's a typical thing where Brightwing tries to save the day just to teleport in and immediately getting killed. So, yeah. That's a boss that they easily claim. I mean, you've got Gust, so even if it would have been contested, they could have probably saved that with Gust alone. But yeah, it's not even over yet. So Nintorii is trying to defend, but the shots are fired at the bottom of the map. And yeah, Zeratul is back at the top. It's a weird game because the blue team, with that push towards the top side of Keep on the other side, actually did really well initially. That was a very nice move. They had a couple of very good macro ideas and plays that they made, but now a lot of that has just fallen apart. Because their opponent was better getting those kills, claiming the boss, getting the 2 shrines. And mostly it was because, yeah, Zeratul died at first, and then bad pathing from Lunara. That is a very, very snappy kill against Falstad, though. Cool play from Porky once again. Setting it all up for Zeratul to get the kill, and that allows them to take a bit of the control back. The 2 teams are still even in experience. But we have a double temple coming up that can be played over, and yeah, with the camps now taken, temple's up. If they get that shot fired, they could technically, with control over the top temple, even get the top keep destroyed. I mean, that's definitely a possibility that they could have now. But Zeratul gets killed again. This starts to be a little bit of a theme. 3 deaths on Zeratul already. Sven is obviously playing with a ping disadvantage. I mean, again, I have to call that out here. When you play a hero like this, it will affect you at least a bit. How much of an impact it has is a different question. But him dying 3 times is a problem, especially regarding the times when he falls. Now we have Diablo destroyed, so that's another stagger death. Team Liam is getting a lot of momentum here, and we have a big problem on the horizon for Nintorii's boys. Because they are starting to really struggle to stabilize. They are just not presenting a united front against the opponent where they can make proper plays. And it's showing. Camp gets stolen away. We have the temples now activating in 10. There's still siege giants that are pushing at the bottom of the map. But just generally, it is now more and more the blue team that ends up defending and trying to just not lose more, whereas the red team is making the decisions on the map, is now going for the shots on the temples, and yeah, they can't go for a double, but that top temple in particular is fairly important to them, because again, once this fort is gone, the top temple would directly attack the keep, and you still want to avoid that catapults are pushing too hard against you. So definitely the right choice for them to first and foremost try and get some of the shots fired through the top. But they might have overstayed with Hogger. Yeah, Hogger in trouble, and that's a kill. Bambi coming in, hoping, of course, to follow up with even more here. Falstad has also revealed himself. Nice damage. Oh, Zeratul with the finishing move against Chromie. That was a big one. Now 2 are down. Back and forth. This entire game has just been continuously back and forth between the 2 teams. Now we have a level 20 talents. That gives us Invisible Friends, we get Shadow Stride, and what are they going to do with all of this now? They can steal the camp away. Zeratul is getting the shots fired at the top. This is going to attack the keep, and given the amount of shots that we still have, it will destroy it. Keep is going to get destroyed. And down at the bottom of the map, they're hoping for even more kills, and they're going to get him against Gia. No! Those are those stagger deaths that you just cannot afford in this situation. This is the worst case scenario now. Now it's just staggered deaths, and every time that you think you might come back into the game and stabilize a little bit, you're losing another hero. You're once again down in numbers. It's not a pretty picture. They just did such a great job to come back into it, and now it is simply falling apart for them again. I mean, given the tendencies in this series, though, it's only going to take another minute or two until the red team pulls off an amazing team fight, takes multiple heroes out, and is fully back, maybe with a play around the boss here. We have now 20 kills in total, and yeah, it's a wild one. It's a pretty fun game that they're playing. At least for us. Probably a little bit frustrating for them, if I would have to guess, but yeah, for us this is actually pretty sweet. So, well, who's going to gain a little bit more out of this? Right now, with a push at the bottom of the map, we're still looking at the red team defending. The situation is again fully switched, and now of course they have to make a little bit of a choice on yeah, how are they going to deal with this. So yeah, time will tell. While they're making the next decision, let's actually try... well, first of all... Oh, the stun into the wall, and Hogger is gone! Hogger is gone, and the blue team in a 5 versus 4. So far, so good, and let's listen in to the team real quickly. Well, that didn't really work. So instead, we have the kills here. At least I didn't hear anything. Maybe you guys did. So we get Stukov destroyed, and with the 3 kills that you just got there, they now have the chance to maybe even end the game. So yeah, the push is coming. They go for Iptings. Up at the top, we're now having an easy route straight for the core. And by the way, down at the bottom of the map, the keep is going to get destroyed very soon as well. So they have a huge opportunity now to get that 2-0 lead and force the opponent in a position where they would have to win 3 in a row in order to proceed to the next round of the winners match. This is the ideal scenario for a best of 5. So perfectly done here. 14 kills to 11 now that they're locking in a few more. Team Nintorii with a 2-0 lead in the best of 5 series against Team Liam. Nicely done as they win Sky Temple. GG and well played. Game number 3, Team Nintorii with a 2-0 advantage. I feel a little bit sad for Liam's team, to tell you the truth. Both games, they essentially were even for the longest time with the opponent, and at some point, you know, just that flip switched, and the back and forth started to slowly tilt in favor of the blue team. But up towards the late game, honestly, it looked really decent for Team Liam. Every time they fell behind, they reclaimed the position in the game. And for a lot of time, it also seemed like they might be the one to get that snowball rolling. But now we have a 2-0 lead for Team Nintorii, and just mentally to try and get back in here is not going to be easy. You have to win 3 in a row, which is tough. So can Team Nintorii now lock in that victory and get proceed to the winner bracket final? That's what we're going to find out. Now, obviously, we have a loser bracket here too, meaning that if Team Liam actually loses this one and gets dropped into the lower bracket, they still have a chance to make it into the grand final. They just have to go for that losers bracket run. Grand final is going to be a best of 7 series, by the way, and the team that makes it into the grand final through the winner bracket has a 1-0 advantage. It's obviously something where you will have very different opinions. I personally don't like it at all. Normally in all of the tournaments that I personally organize, we have either a best of 5 or a best of 7 without a 1-0 advantage from the winner bracket. Normally we're trying to compensate for that a little bit by giving people first pick, first ban and map choice, things like that. But there are plenty of tournaments around that like to go for that 1-0 idea to give the winner bracket team an even bigger edge, and this is one of them. So yeah. Just so you've heard already, I'm going to point it out in some of the other matches, of course, as well. Also, Diablo now coming in as the first pick, taking it away from Porgy 2. By the way, if you're watching this on YouTube right now, make sure that you like the video and that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that yet. That's the best way to promote these videos even more. and see if we can get maybe a few more players back into Heroes of the Storm. I mean, again, we still have tournaments. We are actually getting a couple of small, tiny, I know, patches from Blizzard these days. So if you subscribe and like the video, there's a good chance the algorithm is spreading this out a little bit further, maybe to people that were interested in Heroes in the past, so we could get some back through that. So if you haven't done it yet, like the video and subscribe to the channel. Yeah, and Diablo is not the only interesting pick that we're getting. So first of all, we have Porky now with Stitches. That's a win in my book. And we get Medivh against it. That is, I mean, honestly, for the blue team, if I see that, that just sucks. First, your Diablo gets picked away, so you're already like, meh. Then you're like deciding to play Stitches, and your opponent immediately counters with Medivh. So now we have a ley line into Apocalypse as a potential combo, and every time that Stitches decides that he is going for a Hook Gorge, there will be a portal from Medivh, and they're gonna try and deny any value. We might even see him go into Bile as a result, and him just saying, you know what, I'm not even gonna bother. So, not sure how they're gonna play that. But Medivh, if you have a good Medivh player against you, this can really ruin your day. And Gia is definitely a good one. I'm not sure how much he's affected by ping. He's definitely good enough to play here. So don't know if that's going to be a problem for him or not. But either way, his Medivh is absolutely solid. And this could become a problem for Team Nintorii, as the red team is obviously trying to, you know, start their comeback here. Now, with Stitches and Junkrat, you already have some nice poke from the outside, so that's another real little move. Whenever there's a turn-in happening, Junkrat can just, like, get the grenades in. You have the hooks coming from Stitches. He can, at the same time, also play that hit-point-heavy frontline tank. But what are they following this up with? You normally want to have a stun side laner too. You're going for Malfurion, so the roots are going to be on the ground, and we get Sylvanas. Could even top that off with the mind control afterwards as well. Sven... picking late though. Blaze is already taken away. You can go, I mean, what are we having as side laners? You have Hogga available, you have Urel still available, so those would be two good picks for sure. Brightwing gets chosen for the red team. And for Kelsey, I mean, we need damage. They need a damage dealer that is able to really pack a punch right now. Medivh can contribute some decent numbers, but it is Chromie again. So we're going to get another mage. It's Chromie, Tomb of the Spider Queen. It's the chance for Team Liam to maybe bring this back. It's honestly their last chance. If they don't win here, then they drop down into the losers bracket. Sven's choice, the final pick for Team Nintorii as we're heading into Tomb of the Spider Queen. And, well, let's see what they're picking for the side lane for him now. It's a smaller map, not really a Samuro map, for example. On the bigger ones, I absolutely love it when he goes for that. Here, it is highly unlikely. Instead, we're getting Dehaka, so even on Tomb, they're going for the global. Ladies and gentlemen, match point number 1 for Team Nintorii. Game number 3, match point number 1 in this best of 5. The winner bracket semi-final with Team Nintorii on the left in blue. We now have Ipdings on Sylvanas. Nano is playing Junkrat. Nintorii himself on Malfurion, as we get Porky with Stitches. And Sven on the side lane then with Dehaka bringing the AoE in. Over on the right side of the map, we're getting Blaze played by Liam, Tremor on Diablo. Kelsia plays Chromie for the team. Only a real big damage dealer. Hebi on Brightwing, and Gia is running Medivh. And already kind of interesting, and for me personally, I really like that. It's one of the things when Stitches gets played on this map. He went straight into Hungry for More, so we are gonna see him look at additional hit points through globes. Oh, yeah, you're dead. Liam is dead. You can run a little bit and waste that time, but you're not going to be able to escape from this. So this is going to be first blood in the game. Stitches gets attacked too, but it will be Blaze who falls first. They're already starting to attack Gia as well. Obviously trying to... Oh! That could actually be even a kill. He goes away with the portal and gets some assists from Brightwing. But as I was about to say, if they can kill Medivh a couple of times and reset his stacks, that would be the dream. Now with Porky and everybody else chasing, they are now starting to slowly get him some globes. You want to get those hit points high for Stitches. And as mentioned, it's not only that you're getting a lot more hit points, you also find yourself then in a situation where your Devour is getting a lot more value because it procs off your max HP. So Porky can do a lot if he rotates between the lanes and ensures that he's getting a lot of globes together. Not even speaking of the advantages that you get in movement speed. I mean, just picking the talent is already giving you a 5% movement speed, and then every 20 globes that you get another 5. So you can turn Stitches into a big of a race car. Camps are already slowly taken. Of course, Gia has, for most of the time, at least vision that he can supply for the team. And then, of course, is also able to, besides the vision, just like drop a couple of portals. Even if it's just to scare the opponent. Sometimes you don't even need to have anyone there. You just drop a portal and insinuate that you will start an attack in a moment. And they're going to move back. But this should be a cool game. Medivh on one side, Stitches on the other. That's always making for some really fun comps. Stitches now on level 4 already with playtime. So it's going to just start slapping people a bit as well. But not too many stacks yet on his level 1. 3 at 2 minutes. It's not really crazy. I mean, think about it. So he gets a 4th. You don't have to rush it too much right at the start, but you definitely want to provide at least a solid hit point base for him, since this is going to be a much more aggressive playstyle, very likely. Tremor! That Junkrat play actually saved him. I think without it, he might have died here, but the timing was just a bit off, so he got saved instead. And he's still engaging mega aggressively, getting a good flip straight into a jet propulsion. And there's the hook again. And now it's over. Now he's gone. Great hook from Porky. And it spells out the end for Diablo. 41 gems on the blue team. 38 for their opponents. And the next chance to go in and maybe even get a kill. Gia, by the way, is sitting at 16 stacks with Medivh. And nearly, I don't want to say nearly got killed. It wasn't that bad, but he got targeted very quickly, and it could have been the end of those stacks that he was holding there. 8 stacks for Stitches. So yeah, he is currently starting to stack it up a little bit further. And well, let's have a look. We currently have like a 2-0 kill count, not even half level lead. I mean, generally the blue team is doing a bit better here. Nothing too crazy. But, yeah. Time will tell if they can run the advantage. I mean, specifically if they can, for example, get the first turn in. Both teams have now enough gems to get themselves the first set of web weavers. But Sylvanas falls. So, Chromie is able to hammer Sylvanas into the ground. And now Team Liam is again following up with another potential kill. They've been doing well throughout all of this. There's the second kill. They get Malfurion, but then Chromie waddles her way straight into the next grenade. And they go for Gia! And he's dead! No! Gia dies too. Gia dies, Medivh is gone, and so are those stacks. He was sitting at 22 stacks at the time. As he walks down there and he's so low, gets isolated and gets killed, loses everything. Just as it seems that the blue team again gets one of those big advantages. The red team loses several heroes in the process as well. One of them, Medivh, who now has to start the stacking process all over. Oh, that just hurts. And when we're talking gems lost, then this was also a beneficial situation for the team in blue. They definitely lost less gems than their opponents, and this is gonna make a difference as the game continues, potentially. Now, 13 stacks for Stitches, working on that hit point pool, as mentioned before. Gia down to one single stack. A sad single stack. That's all that he has. Yeah, but nobody has gotten a turn in yet. We're 5.5 minutes into the game and nearly on level 10 for the blue team, and there's still nobody with turn in number 1. Could happen now. Nice damage from Chromie once more. Root on the ground from Malfurion a second ago, and now they're focusing Porky, and they're taking him down. That's 27 gems on the ground. They get picked up, but with Junkrat falling, it falls to Nintorii to pick everything up and try and save it for the team. They want more than that. They go for Sven now as well. And they might, for a moment, I thought they might just take him. So, they save the gems, but they're going to lose the first turn in, because now the red team finally has that momentum that they were looking for. This is a weird one. I mean, it really is. This entire series. The score that we have doesn't do this series any justice, if you ask me. It has been consistently back and forth here. Now we get Leyline and we get Apocalypse. That's really one of my questions though. Is the ping disadvantage gonna be a problem to execute a Leyline APOC combo? That's gonna make it a bit difficult, I'd say. I mean, to be fair, Diablo reacts to Medivh, not the other way around. But communication might still be affected a little bit. I don't know, we'll see. It's 4 kills to 4. First set of Web Weavers are now en route and trying to do some damage, as Iptings at the top is of course going to try and defend here as best as he can. Over in the middle, the defense is already going strong, as we can see here. And down at the bottom, it's a typical solo laner exchange between the two of them. So, yeah, Sven, Vespertine, also fine. I'm just retreating again. And during all of that, we have the attack in the middle. Not really all that successful. They didn't get anything done. Here comes the Gorge play, and it did nothing because of Chromie's quick reaction. So, yeah, Gorge did not really do a lot for them. It was a good thought. I mean, if you get him past the gate, then it's a very different story. But that wasn't the case here. And now what we're seeing instead is Porky getting attacked again, forcing Malfurion to go for a quick tranquility. That hook was gold, though. That hook got really, really dangerous and could have... That could have been a kill. Yeah, that definitely could have been a kill. With a bit of luck in that situation, you could have made that play. So, well, now what we're getting is, of course, the next move around Diablo as he becomes the target time and time again at the front. The blue team has turned in. They would love to get a kill now to make that turn-in push even more impactful. But the portals are there. Medivh, 15 stacks, just saying. So he's still trailing. Porky needs 2 more globes so that he gets another advantage in the movement speed. And he's going to get it here. So he's going to be on 10% additional movement speed once that he picks it up. And obviously has on top of that also a very neat 400 extra HP that is running here. But the defense is again strong. I mean, here in the middle, as you can already tell, that Web Weaver is not going to go far. They open the wall up and that's it. Down at the bottom, they might not even get that done. But they're focusing instead now towards the top, and of course the Sylvanas factor is still a thing. So running her is helping them a lot with this. There's Gorge again, and maybe now, where's the root? Malfurion seem to be on cooldown, but the fort at least is destroyed. Blaze isn't here. This is a 5 versus 4 in favor of Team Nintorii. So they're getting aggressive for good reason, but they cannot get another kill. They were able to take a fort down. That's at least something. 32,000 damage for Junkrat. We have 26,000 for Chromie. And enough gems on both sides to get another turn in. Plenty of gems on the blue team. I mean, they have plenty. They can nearly get 2 turn-ins with that. They're not quite there yet, but they definitely have a huge amount. So, yeah. With 13, we now also have the extra range on the hooks from Stitches. So that's another advantage that they have. Good turn-in. Yeah, 43 already delivered. Only 12 shy, and they're going to get another Web Weaver wave. Blue team is not as aggressive as I would think. I mean, when you're playing with Stitches, you're normally also playing a little bit from farther back, relying on hooks. Which he doesn't roll out. Oh, that's the hook! There we go! APOC play immediately, but Chromie could be in trouble still. There's the portal, gets the shield, and is able to get out. But damn, that hook was gold. And it forced their hand right away. We are still seeing, then again, of course, the Web Weavers coming in. But that was still a really sweet move that they just made a second ago, trying to take Chromie down. If that succeeds and they get the kill, that would be big. Now, it didn't quite work out. Now they still have to deal with the Web Weavers. But it was a good move. And if Diablo doesn't execute the attack against Stitches the way that he did, Chromie doesn't stand a chance. So, yeah, that's definitely nothing. But with that, we now have the attack through the middle. And Chromie again with the temporal loop. They are trying to go for Blaze though, and he's a bit away from that portal. Still trying to get through it. Portal disappears, and so does Blaze. Blaze is dead. And now it's a 5 versus 4 again. Stitches gets another hook. Tries to go for Medivh. 32 stacks for Medivh. No! The shield, the portal, and he gets away. Not again. Gia's heart is pumping. Adrenaline everywhere. He was like, oh god, please no. Oh god, please no. No! But he's still alive. We might not be able to say the same thing about Diablo in a moment. But Gia, boss mode! With those Medivh plays, another shield out, another portal. They're still running. There's the mind control, and now finally no way. Okay, thank you, thank you. Finally, he is going to fall. Now, to be fair to him, he was fully stacked and will be back in a moment, but now the web weavers are there. Still a bit of travel time. And nice! He is able to complete the quest. Gia completes the quest. That's huge for Medivh, so he can breathe a sigh of relief now. Level 16 talent available for Nintorii's team. Just in time for that push, and they're destroying another fort. They're going to get the fort in the middle. So, yeah, they take that out. One fort destroyed, one more to go at the bot lane. Gia just providing vision for the team, and they're already rotating over here. Blaze is completely trapped. I'm not sure how much time they're going to invest on this. Yeah, they have him. And he is gonna die. Oh, actually, with Medivh around, they might be able to get him out. Portal is there. Yep, the portal control just came a little bit too late. That's the nice thing about the comp that they're playing. They have multiple heroes that are really good at controlling the entry and the exit of the portals. With Junkrat, with also Malfurion. I mean, you got a lot here. You can drop the root on the ground. You got a lot of traps, the mines. So that's quite useful. That topside keep has already suffered a lot of damage too. So another point in favor of the blue team, who are now having again momentum, as we've seen in previous games as well. So lots of momentum here. And Tremor, a bit too aggressive, even with Medivh, if you ask me. Brightwing can always see in, that's true. But I didn't think that they would even consider engaging here. They still want to protect that bot side fort if they can. But they also have to make sure that the top keep doesn't fall. Brightwing will have to assist down here soon. Nano jumping out. Tranquility ready. Porky, 29 stacks for him, so he gets more and more hit points. Brightwing gets gobbled up. They want to get the kill against the Fruit Fly. Might be able to get it, but there's the ley line. Gia with so many good plays now. He might still fall, but he's making one big play after another throughout all of this, always attempting to keep his teammates alive. The hook barely misses him, but they lost Diablo again, and this time he's going to be dead for another 35 seconds. So they push past the fort. They're still able to pull that off. Nice little camp push in the middle of the map, on the other hand, which likely is going to cost them a fort now. But with 86 gems in their pockets, they can go and try and get another turn in here. And Gia is not going to dare to drop down to interrupt them, or he will get targeted and killed immediately. So we are looking at blue web weavers descending again. And now that topside keep should actually fall. Only one fort has been destroyed on the blue team side. Everything else that was taken out on this map was through the team on the left side. So Nintorii and his guys, they are looking better and better with every single little play that they make here. And while that keep goes down for sure, the bigger question for me is how much more can they do afterwards, and what are they going to target here? So if they land one of those monster hooks and get a follow-up kill, I don't think they can go for game, but if you can damage the second keep now and prep for the rest of the game, hey, even better. So, yep, topside keep is about to go down. Won't be able to secure that in time anymore. Breaking a few walls, maybe at least that. Side wall is already gone. Bottom of the map, not too much to be done here either. So, doesn't seem like they're gonna be too aggressive around it. Well, Diablo is still firing away. Jet propulsion, nano, and that's a dead Junkrat. Junkrat gets killed, and they're still trying to follow, but Nintorii drops a root instantly upon seeing the portal, and that saves not only him, but potentially also some teammates. So they're just retreating for now. Still 43 gems in their hands. We have a boss play by Team Liam. I mean, again, they are, I don't want to say desperate. They're a level behind. They've lost a lot of structures, but they're definitely in a position where they need to make a couple of riskier plays too. In an ideal world, they're getting the gems now to coordinate a turn-in with the boss push at the top. It's kind of what would maybe help you to take some structures out, at least the top side fort, maybe even more than that. But it's of course a bit tricky, especially when your opponent is running Sylvanas and a global and is instead just controlling the bot lane and pushing against you the way that they're doing here. 60,000 damage for Junkrat, 50,000 for Gromy. There's the turn-in, so they're coordinating both. They're getting the turn-in and they're getting the web weavers, as we just talked about. Able to pull both of that off. And this is going to at least hit hard at the top lane. Now, the advantage for the blue team is the level 20 talent that they just got. So that's at least one little tool that is going to help them with the defense of that top lane. So let's see if they can. Yeah, temporal loop once. And there's the helping hand from Stitches. But the Haka becomes the target. Is looking for a potential tongue here though. Really ready for the cooldown, but another hook and Gorge. Bye bye Diablo. If he doesn't get a portal here, he's dead. Mind control, and even with a shield, he's gone. Loses his stacks, he'll be back on the map, but that is going to put a dampener on their ambition to push with those web weavers. That's going to make it tricky. Very cool execution. I mean, Porky is hitting these hooks like crazy. I mean, seriously. Enormous hook plays by him, great follow-up from the team. And as I said already at the beginning of the game, even in the draft, you have to think about that there's Medivh on the other side. So a lot of these plays are about to be shut down. Gia is playing a great Medivh here as well. He might have died once or twice, but he's also crushing it on that hero. And so landing these hooks and getting value out of them is not easy. Junkrat gets blown apart again mid-jump. Leyline setting it up initially. Mind control! And they get Medivh! And they don't stop there. What a hook and follow-up. Sick city. Big plays. And now the rest of the red team is just on the run. Trying to get away here. Rush out and attempt to somehow make it out alive. Tremor is not going to be so lucky. He will die, and he does. They're even delaying it slightly, but yeah, he's gone. And it all started with this. The hook, and then bam! The follow-up with mind control, and it was the end of Medivh and then Brightwing. Yeah, that leads to the next turn-in, and it could be the last turn-in here. 3 heroes are still missing on the red team. We have 1 down on the blue team side, but Junkrat will be back in 11 seconds. And, of course, Stitches by now has 45 additional stacks. Yep, 45 additional ones. That is 1,000 hit points that he's already running here. More than 1,000 hit points. 1,150. So he is a big boy. He's a really big boy. He is definitely somebody that you're not going to take out that easily. It's going to take a lot of targeting and focus fire in order to drop him here. So Diablo dead for another 10 seconds. That's time that they can use to go for the bottom keep. They haven't just YOLO'd things out for the core, but if you now take both of the keeps out and your opponent doesn't have any structures left, and we all know where that's likely headed. So a comeback is still possible, but the chances of it happening are getting slimmer and slimmer. It's a 5 versus 5 at least. It is a 5 versus 5, so they still have a chance to make that work, but Diablo gets caught right away. There's the ley line. And the safety through portal and shield to make sure that the front line does not die again. But 2 keeps have now been lost. The one in the middle is still standing. So they even have some keeps that are still in play. They haven't lost everything here. But they've lost a lot. And again, you gotta ask yourself also, if you don't end games or like take more keeps out when you have an advantage like this, are you just playing with fire? Are you just ending up in a situation where your opponent is able to completely take you out? Porgy with a little jig here. Going for a little bit of a dance. As he knows that Medivh is obviously watching everything. Medivh is a little bit of a pervert if you ask me. Always flying around here, you know, watching everything, observing everything. I mean, if that is not Stalker Syndrome, then I don't really know what it is. He's also he has the look of one too. So, if Medivh, again, don't trust that guy. Don't trust that guy. I wouldn't, and you shouldn't either. He's definitely untrustworthy. And again, even Blizzard acknowledges that he's also a big cheater, and, I mean, I hate cheaters. So, 11 kills to 6. 20 minutes in. Up at the top, Blaze still pushing. And over here towards the middle, Porky, he's the one that is still looking for that next hook. But with Medivh just flying around, everybody is fully aware where he's positioned, and that's the one thing. So as long as you stay away from Porky and don't give him any vision on you, there's nothing that he can do about that. So they protect all of this perfectly. The hook comes out, but doesn't connect. We have not enough gems for a turn-in on either side now. But the Haka as a global still gives value. Nice coordination here, and he gobbles up everything! He gobbles up everything, and Malfurion comes back in time to save him! Porky is alive, he ate them all, and somehow survived through this. This is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. They had him locked down, they wanted the kill, they nearly got it, and now he turns it with another beautiful combo against Medivh. Medivh goes down, and this might just be the end. This might be the beginning of the end right here. They kill Chromie, they kill Medivh, and they're following up with more. Porky not dying was just crazy. Diablo is down, but just look, this is how this started. Look at him. He just eats everyone. He just goes and gobbles everyone up, and they can't do damage anymore. They still try and target him down. They still can't kill him. And then he turns it a second later, hooks Medivh in. They get the kill with a beautiful follow-up from Sylvanas. And, well, that is possibly going to be that, because what are they going to do here? The boss is going to be taken. There's only 3 heroes on the map. I mean, Chrome is going to be back. But this is a 23-minute boss that is now pushing through the top lane with catapults, and they should be able to just murder them here. I don't see why they wouldn't be able to. I mean, the boss alone is likely going to win this now. There's no turn-in opportunity. There's another play to just gobble them up. The roots on the ground. Riptire, bunker gets used instantly as well. But the damage is, of course, enormous. And they can't even deal with the boss here. Apoc, again the ley line. The boss is already on the core. I'm trying to take that out. 5 versus 5. Nintorii is low, has to be careful. There's the drag against Liam. He dies. Blaze is gone. Gems on the ground, and the core is losing hit points. Core is slowly falling apart. They go for Medivh again. They're at least able to take Junkrat out. Junkrat is taken out, so that's that. But the core falls, and that's a 3-0 victory for Team Nintorii against Team Liam. GG.
Thank you everybody for watching the video today. I hope that you enjoyed the show and the commentary. And keep in mind that the spoiler protection that is going to run for the rest of the video is made possible by all the support on patreon.com. So guys, if you want to support my work, if you want to help me start new projects and keep the spoiler protection in place, please consider heading over to patreon.com/Khaldor. There's also a link in the YouTube description, and check that out. Thanks in advance, and see you guys next time with more esports coverage here on Khaldor TV. Have a great day.